Hi, Ixonia families. This is Stacy, your Link principal from Ixonia. I know that this summer is filled with a lot of decisions that your family needs to make regarding your child's education for the fall. And I also know that you've gotten a lot of information from our district to try to help you make that decision. But given the recent change into our elementary cohort model, I wanted to make sure that you understand exactly what the cohort model will look like at the elementary level so that you can make the best decision possible for your child as you plan for their return to education in the fall. So I think first of all, I just want to define a cohort and make sure that everybody understands the same terminology. I'm going to interchange the word cohort and homeroom. So a cohort is simply a group of students that have been assigned to a specific teacher. So in the past, we just called that a homeroom. And really in a cohort model, it's that the students who are assigned to the same teacher are going to be spending the majority of their instructional day together. So one important question that I want to make sure I clarify right off the bat is how often students in the cohort model are going to be coming to school. I can assure you that in the cohort model, the elementary students will be coming to school 5 days a week following our 8:40 to 3:40 bell schedule, and we will also be following the exact same academic calendar as we always have followed. So your kids will be at school with us every day. What can your child expect from classroom instruction in that cohort model? So in previous years, we had really built a school where the teachers were working together and students were actually getting their instruction from the different teachers at that particular grade level. In a cohort model, we are going to have the instruction that all of the academic instruction will be delivered by your child's homeroom teacher only. We're not going to be having any of that intermixing. We're all going to also have some additional safety mitigations within the classroom to be limiting unnecessary exposure to students within the class. But the whole purpose of moving into cohort is that we are limiting the amount of exposure and points of contact between students that we really want to keep that exclusive to students that are within the cohort and not introducing unnecessary adults or people into that exposure potential. So another question has come up regarding just individualized services that are part of students' plans. I want to assure you as well, parents, that if your child has any kind of academic plan, those will be implemented in a cohort model. We will make sure that the speech and language pathologist or our special education staff or whomever that might be is still working with your child, and we'll just have to think about the best safety mitigations in order to do that. But all those services will continue to exist. So when will students leave the classroom? As a mom myself, this is an important question, and I think I want you to know that kids are still going to be leaving their classroom. Lunch will be in the cafeteria. Recess is going to be outside. They can leave for bathroom breaks. If they have any specially designed services, those students would probably go to their different therapy rooms for that. Teachers are also going to be building in opportunities for outdoor learning, and that would be determined by what teachers feel like is most appropriate, but that would get students outside of the classroom. And occasionally, specials classrooms may be outside of the classroom. So those are all times in the day your kids will be leaving the classroom. How's lunch going to work? So we have built a schedule so that the entire grade level is at lunch at the same time, but that cohorts are sitting in specific tables and areas within the cafeteria. We're going to try to create some, social distancing or some tables, barriers within the different cohorts. The other difference is that we are going to be assigning seats in the cohort model during lunch. And the reason being is students are going to have their masks off as they eat. You know, we've all seen elementary kiddos eat, but there tends to be a lot of extra transmission. And so it's really important for us to know exactly who students are seated by. And I also want you to know that that's not going to be like a forever thing. We'll likely be reviewing those assigned seats every couple of weeks so that kids have variety. That's really important for them too. How is recess going to work? Like I said, kids are going to go outside for recess. Here at Ixonia, we have had designated zones for the past few years, so that's a very comfortable and familiar term for students. We have our blacktop, we have our playground equipment area, and we have a field. And so each homeroom, each day will be assigned one of those areas to be playing in, and that is going to rotate every day. So over the course of the week, every student is going to be in every zone. And then within the zones, we're also going to have some different activities that students can play. So they're not going to be forced to play one particular thing. There's going to be choice involved because that is so important for their play. How are specials classes going to work? So one big change in the cohort model is rather than students traveling to the art room, in most cases, the specialist is going to come up into the classroom. Again, it isn't necessary for the students to be, walking in the halls to their specials class and also being in the same environment that different cohorts are in back to back. So they're going to just stay in their classroom. The teacher will bring a cart with all the necessary tools. There may be occasions, however, where the art teacher may say, we're doing clay because we want to continue to expose kids to all different kinds of options in specials. And clay is best done in the art room. So then that particular class would go to the art room, but that would probably be the only class in the art room for the entire day. That way we can properly clean before the next class comes in. Another important question that I'm hearing a lot, and I want to make sure families understand, is are students going to be required to wear a mask in school? All students in 4K through 4th grade will be required to wear a mask when they're in the building. And we know that's going to be tricky for some students. So if you have the opportunity to start to get them used to wearing that mask, that would be really helpful. They will also be required on the bus and at that arrival dismissal time. Arrival dismissal, we've all seen it. There are just a lot of kids going in a lot of directions. We do have safety mitigations in place to kind of direct traffic in a very specific way, but I do think it's important that wearing masks when they're going to be interacting with potentially different people is important. We will be having mask breaks throughout the day. There will be mask break area within each classroom where a student can, go and just kind of take a break, take their mask down. They would be socially distanced from everyone else in the room, but that will be an option in every classroom. Teachers will also be planning possible extra mask breaks to get kids outside. So that's another potential. But everyday masks will not be required outside for recess or in that outdoor learning environment. And masks will not be required when students are eating or drinking. And if your child has any sort of documented health condition, we will be making accommodations for those students. So I hope you found this face-to-face presentation a little more helpful in clarifying what it's going to look like. Again, we know that these are important decisions you need to make, and I feel like you need to be most informed on what that's going to look like here at Ixonia School. So I'm going to continue to do a couple of these videos over the next few weeks just to make sure everybody is on the same page, and I'm happy to answer any follow-up questions. But please mark your calendars for August 25th. We will be having a meet and greet event where it will be scheduled. It'll look a little bit different, but information will be coming soon. I'll also be sharing information on school safety mitigations, arrival dismissal procedures, and some different classroom procedures. So I hope this was helpful to you. Please know that we're thinking of you. We know these are very, very tough decisions, and we wish you all the best as you make the decision that is best for your family. All right. Take care, families.